You're quite right. I mean, Boris Johnson has led the DUP up the path on several occasions. I mean, he addressed their party conference before he was Prime Minister in 2018, saying that there would be no hard border in the Irish Sea, come what may. And of course, as Prime Minister, negotiated exactly that. So the DUP are kind of, from their position, fair enough. I think they're probably quite sceptical about Boris Johnson's assurances. So I think this is why the idea of legislation is being brought forward, to put it on the table, to say, there you go. I'm prepared to do this. I'm going to publish a bill. I'm going to put that bill through Parliament, and we'll have those powers ultimately to use if we don't get any further in these negotiations. Now, as I say, there's a whole rate sliding scale of scenarios here, and the idea of publishing legislation, as I say, is not the same as it going through Parliament in the form that it starts off in. I think this would be very difficult to get through the House of Commons without serious amendment, and I think getting it through the House of Lords would probably be nigh on impossible. So the government at that stage would have to invoke the Parliament Act, which would still take a year then to get these proposals on the statute books. So there's quite a long trail of activity here, and I think in the intervening period, the government is hoping that actually it manages to strike a deal with the European Union to, as you say, reform and tweak the protocol. The protocol's here to stay. You either have a border across the island of Ireland, which nobody wants, and Boris Johnson re-emphasises that point today in his Belfast Telegraph piece. Nobody wants that, because not only is it very, very difficult to try and police a 310-mile border, but of course there's huge amounts of symbolism there from the time of the Troubles, and one of the government's red lines in this proposed legislation is that there won't be any infrastructure on the border, on the Irish border. So the only other way of managing these affairs is to have checks, customs checks, goods checks at the ports, which is basically what the protocol does. So rationally, the protocol makes sense. But as I say, there's an attempt to try and tweak and reform and finesse it rather than get rid of it. And that's the message that I think Boris Johnson's taken to the unionists today.